Call to order the Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 Planning Board public hearing and meeting. Time is now 6:02 p.m. Welcome all of our presenters and board members, staff, and council, and all the good folks here to get us through our public process. We have 4 items on today's meeting agenda, and our first will be a development plan review for 43 Second Ave. The applicant here, Eli Schneider.
I don't see Mitch, here, but I had also told him
Need
to
you?
be.
Do you want to walk through?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have staff walk through their report and presentation, and we'll take it from there.
It's the conversion of the existing school, which I know we discussed previously, first as a workshop and then a public hearing. So 32 building units, and they're at a point now with departmental review that water department can feel comfortable with conditional approval, and all the other departments have signed off. That's the building. They've made a lot of updates over the summer. Put a lot of detail on what wasn't there previously, so good about the site plan. The only other condition in addition to find the water department would be in their elevation set, they have one that shows the elevation painted gray and white, and it went before the Historic Resource Commission, and they denied the request for painting. And it was kind of like a half yes, half no on the certificate of appropriateness. So we just requested that elevation be removed so that there's not confusion that they are allowed to paint it. HRC determined they were not be in character. There's no public funding, so we didn't do any coordinated review. We did call it an unlisted action, so we did draft just a short EAF. Part 2 and 3 for you. Move forward. Did receive any public comment? There was a public hearing previously. That's what I just mentioned about the certificate of appropriateness and it being unlisted. So we would just include that bold part as a condition that's on our recommendation. So it is a few. The street amenities and street trees are kind of partial. They did include street amenities and street trees. They have 6 street trees where 8 are required. There's just not enough room in the right of way. And the street amenities, same thing. It's just pretty tight in the right of way. So recommend approval of those waivers as well as the neg deck and approval of conditions of the development plan review. Like I said, water and they changed to elevations just to remove that painted elevation.
Ms. O'Shaughnessy, do you have any questions for staff? Plenty of time. Yeah. All right, I'll roll through each of these as for separate motions so we can have them on record. Just read. Is there a motion for a negative declaration on the secret review?
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded.
Aye.
For disapproving.
It's been moved and seconded for negative declaration of the secret review. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to approve the waiver for the street amenities?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Shawty said, second, Liz?
Mm-hmm.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the waiver for the street amenities. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion for approval of the waiver for these street trees?
So moved.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded for the approval of the waiver for street trees. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the last one, is there approval with the condition on the development plan review, condition 1, prior to the issuance of the building permit, final approval shall be obtained from the Department of Water and Water Supply, and 2, all exterior work must comply with the decision of the Historic Resources Commission. In their drawing depicting the rendering with gray and white painting to be removed from the floor plan and elevation plan as this proposal was denied. Those are 2 conditions. Is there a motion for the approval of development plan review with the conditions as read? Or as written?
As written, yes, so moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the development plan review with the conditions as written. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried. All done, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'll follow up.
Next for today on our meeting agenda is 84 Madison Avenue, which is a conditional use permit. Wesley?
I have a speaking
Evan?
word. I was here the other time, so.
Yeah, come on down.
A couple of updates. We had electricians come by. Permits just got inspected, they passed. The permit should be closed out by the inspectors or are going to be closed out soon. We are working with plumbers. We're working with, we just got a 3D scan of the building that'll give elevations and structure and everything, which you'll see in the slides. I think they were updated to reflect it. And then, yeah, so Min Workshop did a 3D scanning up to as accurate as to the millimeter for any and all directions. They scanned inside, outside. Electricians were Ungerman Electric. We are waiting to hear back from E.W. Tompkins for plumbing. They're gonna come in when they get the chance to get a retroactive permit and check all the plumbing. I believe Ungerman Electric also did check out the HVAC of that level, and then they said that everything was to code. So that was also in process. I think that would close out soon. Let's see. Oh yeah, as you can see, full scan range. I don't know if the details, but as you can see, the structure where the stairs are, it'll show you the bathrooms and everything, and where everything outlies, as well as the exit deck. So entrance inside is the stairs you see on the top, and then the rear over there as a second egress, and then bathroom, kitchen area, of course. They had checked all of the outlets, they checked all the breaker panels, all the stuff that's in the area, and then they went to check the meters and stuff as well. They didn't have any questions. We said, you guys know best, and they checked everything they could. So this is the first floor, right? Yeah. So first and second are pretty much almost mirrored, but as you can see, it's a I don't see the measurements on there, but they have the square footage, which will show the referencing there. So the scans they sent me earlier had all of the exact measurements, but I think the notes would be in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you can see, front entrance, right in the hallway, after the stairs on the top, leading up, and then on the back way is of course the egress going down, the connecting stairs from the third, and it just goes down and the stairs kind of loop around, and then that leads to basically the parking lot in the back. And then on the, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so they had checked all this stuff, and all the plumbing units are pretty much on the basement area, which E.W. Tompkins is going to be checking. I think there's only one boiler on the third level, which they're checking. They had checked for the discharge, and after testing it, they're going to work on just getting the permits and stuff for retroactive to make sure everything's good. They didn't find any leaks, so they were pretty happy with it. So they're going to probably open up a permit sometime soon. I guess really we're depending on their schedule. because right now it's a cold season and, well, everybody's asking for plumbers right now, so, yeah.
All right, any questions from planning board?
I could just say from the staff side, communicating with Wesley, with the additional information from the scan, he understands it doesn't meet the livable conditions, the definition in the code. So he understands like it does need to be 2, not 3, and he said that you're moving forward with the building permits to rectify that, so.
Yeah, we're just one step and trying to find everybody that can, get the approval.
Exactly. So on our side, it's still the same recommendation as in October, for a denial of the conditional use permit for 3 units when, the third is not a livable, area.
I guess my question is, because it looks like that work to make it a third dwelling unit has been done prior to going through this process, what are your plans? What do you plan to do with that third area for the attic space?
First, we're gonna do all we can to make sure that everything's up to code. We're still gonna continue getting the plumber set. We're gonna talk with architecture, gonna do everything that we need to pretty much work it up and then figure out things from there. First thing is to meet code. That's our goal right now.
And you're working with the building department.
Yeah, so they all know. Yeah, we just had our inspection, I think, like last week for electrical and stuff. So I'm not sure how long it takes for them to sign off and get that stuff set, but it's underway.
And so once you approve all that, they'll get an RFP for it?
I believe so.
Right.
That's as far as I know. Yeah.
I'm stuck, I'm sorry. Because I understand you're saying you're gonna figure it out from there, but it's not livable space, so I'm not sure as far as it being a third dwelling unit, but I could see it maybe being a duplex for the second. I don't know if that's
It's not livable space, but they didn't say it's not usable space.
right, but they're still getting plumbers and everything up there. That's
Still maybe a plumber in order for it to be usable. If I heard you correctly, it's a heating issue, right? Boiler?
No, yeah, there's a boiler there, so like basically the
Okay.
plumber's just gonna check that, make sure that everything's good.
I missed
and then
that piece.
follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and they're gonna bring it up.
To
Yeah,
code.
basically.
I know they're gonna bring everything up to code. Yeah, that I do
Yeah.
know.
So basically, I
Okay.
think it's gonna stay as a duplex, and it's still a space, but at least like everything's as they checked everything. Basically, we're
Okay.
checking all the boxes that we make sure that because it was basically there before they got it, so they're just like okay, they thought it was
So we can still use it for something. It's just not.
just
it can't be
just to
apartment.
just be like yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All good? All righty. Is there a motion to deny the conditional use permit?
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and properly seconded to deny the conditional use permit for, was that 84 Madison Avenue? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Good luck with those renovations, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're just gonna go with the process and do everything we can. Thank you.
Next up, very good folks from the Underground Railroad History Project in the Capital Region. Conditional use permit, development plan review, waivers for parking, layout and design of parking location, multiple items. We know we've seen pieces of this before. We'll look to talk about secret and a few of these other pieces, but are you Sean?
Yes.
Sean, very nice to see you again. Let's go.
All right. Wonderful to be back. Sean Hamlin, Managing Principal, Hamlin Design Group. We're here to talk about, of course, a very important project. I think one of the more important ones in the region, the Underground Railroad. We have a zoning district, as you know, it's a mixed use and the neighborhood edge. But as we go forward in this project, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to allow our project manager, Kia Fisher, to take us through the presentation.
Good afternoon, or good evening, sorry. Good evening, everyone. So I know we've been through this a couple of times before, but so I'll just run through this quickly. We're looking at the project location. The first two pictures show standing from Livingston Ave, facing towards the site where the proposed building would be. And the third picture looks towards Livingston Ave, standing closer to 3rd Street. And again, the project, the new building will be in mixed-use neighborhood edge. Here we have a site plan showing the building in relation to the other properties around it, as well as the Stephen and Myers Residence Historical House, which is on the left side of the sheet. Our proposed interactive center will be on the right side. This is a floor plan. This is starting at the basement. Starting from the top of the sheet, we have archive space and storage space. Heading down, we have a library, a screening room, a media room, an office space, and then mechanical spaces. On the first floor, starting at the top again, we have the primary entry as we come into the main exhibit space. On the left, you'll see a kids' educational area to teach them more about the movement of teaching abolition in the city of Albany. On the right side, we have a cafe, and then behind that, we have back of house functions, which is the kitchen, food storage, and grounds maintenance, as well as receiving. And again, starting at the top of the sheet, we have a conference room with a wet bar. It's accessed by an elevator just below that, which takes you to a lounge, offices for the employees. Below that, we have one unit for visiting speakers and guests. And below that is a one bedroom for the on-site property management. So for our hours of operation will be Sunday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 employees. The closest similar conditional use is Philip Schuyler, also Tenbrook. It didn't make it onto this, I apologize. Required permits will be the city building permit, city planning approval, grading, street opening, water and sewer, and because we have the kitchen, Department of Health. We don't anticipate any noise, light, or odors beyond the property boundary, and once per day food and equipment delivery. Here we have the site as it is now. And in the proposed site plan, we have the proposed building, and then outside we have the geothermal well fields. And then we are, there's a current path that runs between 3rd Street and Livingston Ave that we will be paving and adding greenery on each side too, as well as lighting. Here we're showing our landscaping plan. This is a living building core design, so all of this is native plantings with the idea of enhancing the environment, but also not adding anything to it that would be detrimental to it. Here we have the front elevation if you're standing at Livingston Ave. On the left, you'll see that's the receiving area. This is the west elevation, the east elevation, and then the south. And again, these are the floor plans that we showed before: the basement, first floor, second floor. So we anticipate construction to be 14 months. There's been ongoing meetings with the neighborhood associations, and the funding sources have changed since the last time that we were here. We have NYSERDA, the Pat Fahey 2024 grant, McDonald Fahey funds, Empire State Development, and monies from the First Presbyterian Church. And as we spoke to before, there's 2 dwelling units. Any questions?
Any questions from planning board members?
Can you remind me how deep your geothermal wells are?
400 feet.
400 feet.
What?
No.
We could do a quick update. It's both a conditional use permit and the DPR conditional use permit is the square footage of the use, cultural facility. We classified the action as unlimited last summer. and did a coordinated review due to the public funding sources. So we provided the part 2 and 3 of that full environmental assessment form for your review and recommended adoption of the negative declaration. With the zoning map amendment that we've done previously for the property, is now the MUNE, and the front yard max setback is 10, except for in context, and you went through the area variance process for that with the Board of Zoning Appeals last fall, so that's all set, and that's where that kind of native planting is in the front yard, essentially. DGS and Forestry signed off a while ago. Water Department provided comments recently, so I know Kurt, the engineer, is working through those currently. For the waivers specifically, there are 3 parking requirement reductions that are applicable. So off-street parking spaces, proximity to public transit, and mixed use having both the cultural facility and the dwelling units on the same. So with all those reductions, 9 spaces were required, and there are 2 proposed, 2 EV at the existing space and 2 ADA at the new construction. The waiver is requested for the minimum off-street parking requirement. And they provided a management memo as well, which included detailed proposal for school bus drop-off. That was a question we had previously, for field trips, et cetera. So that includes the current number of field trips and expected frequency in the future, as well as inventory of the available on-street parking within about a 5-minute walk. So with all that, it seems sufficient. So again, I'm recommending approval of that waiver. And the 2 ADA spots that are proposed with the new construction are partially in front of the front walk lane. So that's another waiver we recommend approval of, just due to the location of the geothermal wells in the rear and it is stormwater retention right there, front garden. So
Front garden,
that was part of the setback, and you need to put the ADA to the side, kind of in the front. Those are 2 waivers. The night deck, as I mentioned, we did a coordinated review. There's thorough communication with SHPO, and that's ongoing due to archaeological studies. So we'll see that in the future, but recommend negative declaration, approval of the 2 waivers, and due to some uncertainty with funding sources and, the continuation of the archaeological review, well, we're recommending a 2-year approval rather than a 1-year for both the conditional use permit and the development plan review, with the conditions of final water department approval for building permits, and then further on down the line for the certificate of occupancy, just to do the lot modification, because it's all those little parcels together, along with the city-owned alley. So there's a lot of recommended action. Yeah.
Any additional questions? Or what's the largest sort of gathering space as you now reconfigured the property? Inside.
Inside, the largest gathering space is the main level. That is the event space that you see there. If we zoom in, we probably can see the dimensions. My eyes are not that good.
Don't worry, I can't see it either.
Less concerned about the square footage, more thinking in terms of actual use. How many folks you think you would want to put in there? Let's say it was a fundraiser for.
What's the maximum capacity?
What's the capacity?
Depending upon the setup, you can easily fit about 300 people.
Oh, wow.
200 to 300 people, depending upon the setup.
High top tables, networking.
Yeah.
300 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about 7 square feet per person. We're probably just a little shy of that, because you're a little shy of 2,100, but you're pretty close. Let's say 250.
Gotcha. This event is happening on a Friday evening. Where the heck is everybody park that's coming to support the institution if we don't have any parking?
Well, where they would come to park, what we've, number one, shown in our study is there is an excessive amount of street parking along Livingston Avenue, along 3rd Street. that is within walking distance. The chart that we showed in our engineer's report includes quite a few. Most of the neighborhood are the residents who we are concerned about primarily have off-street parking. There are parking there, driveways that they have available. But for the bulk of individuals, they would park on the streets.
Let me rephrase my question and ask essentially a second one. That's a very real one. Metropolitan Church is having revival, Tri-City Revival, and it's Friday night, and you want to have your fundraiser.
That same
It
Friday
just
night.
slipped your mind to talk to Pastor Johnson and try to coordinate this thing. It's the same day. Where are your folks parking?
Not in there, free parking.
Yes, they are well equipped with parking.
We certainly are, but I'm not concerned about Metro's parking. I'm concerned about yours.
So when we went through the weekday parking, they did a study from 4 to 5 p.m., which we know is pretty much prime time. And there were still 112 spots on Livingston, and between Livingston, 3rd Street, 2nd Street, Bird Street, Colony Street, Lark Street, and North Swan, which is all about a 5-minute walking distance, we got about 270 average available parking spaces. Which,
Say those streets again, between
Sure.
where and where?
Colony,
Livingston,
Livingston.
first, second, third, Lark.
Colony, and North Swan.
So similar places have similar issues in that neighborhood, and I've noticed that they do ballet too often,
Yeah.
is what I've seen.
And that's
There's
something,
not often.
that's something the owners did definitely talk about, opportunities for busing or valet service when needed. So the Underground Railroad has had numerous conversations within the Arbor Hill area to maximize that. Those haven't been sealed. Can't present to you that they have been sealed, but those conversations have been had.
As someone who has street parking only, those conversations are really important, right? Because then what ends up happening is sometimes people end up just blocking off parking for the events, and all of a sudden it's like an afterthought. You haven't thought about it. They block off like the whole street, and residents can't park. So as great as an event as it is, you do coexist with residents, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Residential piece, haven't had to deal with participate in the church stuff. I've seen that parking lot explode. Something like a funeral.
People are comfortable parallel parking that don't normally do it, right? So it's a mess.
And don't let there be snow. Right, exactly.
That's just something to think about
Yeah.
going forward is, and a space like this is so important, right? You want to have events there, you want people to come to it.
But the parking you're really thinking about is mostly on the Livingston side.
Yes.
Right.
Mostly on the Livingston side,
Not the third
or the second.
or second.
No, they're right. About 98% of those houses have off-street parkings. But a lot of them are duplex houses with the off-street parking being a garage and then a single car driveway. So if you have, let's say, 4 adults in one duplex house, you have half those cars on the street.
You live over here, you know what it is.
It's around
Right,
the
and then
corner.
you can't park, like, so it's every other, right?
Right,
So it's not that much parking on the street with a curb cut.
right. On their side, they have more, but on the opposite side, not so much. That's where a lot of the residential houses are, is on the opposite side.
And it's permitted there, right?
No,
Oh, it's not?
no. You guys have that
Free for all
lovely.
over there.
Yeah, you have that lovely benefit. They won't extend the permit outside of Center Square. There's a whole lot of issues I have around that, but yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, there's permit parking in Pembroke too.
In front of the mayor's house. Back to what I was saying.
Thank you. Mary Liz Ford.
Hi, Mary Liz.
I just wanted to mention as well, in terms of the parking issue, we have internally had conversations at Underground Railroad Education Center about the possibility of arranging for, when we're expecting, crowds such as what was been suggested here, arranging for use of a transport van so that folks can park in the downtown parking lots. And then we would arrange for transport back and forth between the lot and the interpretive center so as to not negatively impact on our neighbors. So I just wanted to share that as well.
Thank you. Any relationship with the church?
No. Other than friends in the neighborhood, but
Well, just as our attendees there. And we've had ongoing, interaction around, ads in our promotional materials and things back and forth over the years. So the kids who participate in our summer program are also members.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We have 5 actions here. Let's go through them one by one. Is there a motion for a negative declaration for secret?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for a neg deck on secret. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have 2 waiver approvals. Waiver on section 375-405 2CI for minimum off-street parking. Is there a motion for said waiver?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for the minimum off-street parking waiver. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Second approval is for section 375-4055B parking layout design for the parking location. Is there a motion for a waiver on the parking location?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the waiver for the parking location. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
For the conditional use permit, is there a motion for a 2-year approval for conditional use permit number 0083?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded for a 2-year approval of the conditional use permit 0083. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And our last approval is approval of the development plan review for 2 years for number 0226 with the conditions that prior to the issuance of the building permit, final approval shall be obtained from the Department of Water and Water Supply, condition 1. Condition 2, prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy, a lot modification approval is required for the consolidation of tax lots as listed on the screen and in the report with required city-owned alley known as tax lot 65.74-1-36. Is there approval for the 2-year, is there a motion for approval for a 2-year development plan review 0226 with the conditions as written?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the development plan review for 2 years. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. This is a huge milestone. Thank you.
Last one. This is for 55 Mill Road, development plan review. Niagara Mohawk, AKA National Grid. Are you Allison?
I am, yes.
Hi, Allison.
Hello.
You guys are looking for to replace and upgrade existing public utilities, minor or gas distribution assets at National Grid's existing Norman School Station. It's no lower by expensive bill.
We'll keep you safe.
That was shit going on.
Keep you warm.
It's going up. All right, the floor is yours.
Great, thank you all. You may recall we were here a couple of months ago doing some work at the same location, 55 Mill Road. That was a project for a portion of our existing natural gas pipeline replacement. That was an emergency measure due to some land movement activity in the area. This project we have before us tonight is for an upgrade of our existing gas regulator station. So same property location, different project. For this project, we are upgrading the existing natural gas regulator station. There'll be several improvements made, installation of new above grade valves, a second regulator station will be installed on the site, new controls, new control cabinets, replacement of the existing regulator station that is there, and also replacement of the water bath heater and electrical service, and also some of the perimeter fencing. This is an existing condition sheet that's taken from our plan set. I do have Andrew Kamer here, who's the project manager from National Grid, who can take us through just some highlights on the existing condition sheet, and then next we'll have the proposed site plan. Just give them a lay of the land, Andrew.
Yeah, so this site takes the location from BHE gas transmission. The next slide here, show that as safe, there's only currently a 45-pound regulator station. Due to reliability concerns, we are looking to add a 24-pound regulator station in to reduce any risk of a low pressure situation in a high demand situation or high demand conditions, which would typically revolve around extremely cold temperatures. So you can see it's there, the black buildings or the rectangular buildings are the existing BHE buildings. We are planning on tying to that. On the BHE side, there's going to be a new riser structure where a new demarcation point where their assets tie into ours. The existing pink, or I guess the pink piping shown, it would be the new valve, which is valve 2901, to the right of the rightmost regulator cabinet in pink. There's going to be, following that pipeline will run into the 45-pound regulator cabinet as well as split and run into the 24-pound regulator cabinet. Both regulator systems will share the same water bath heater, which is shown down and notated by the station heater. Both systems will have the same relief and will be tying into pipeline E29 and E30 respectively. And then here you can see our proposed limited disturbance plan. The orange indicates the temporary workspace agreement. And you might recall this looks similar to what was utilized for the E30 HDD project. A little bit smaller footprint here, just in the nature of the construction, with it being a station as opposed to a pipeline job. The green on the left-hand side of the station there, that is the relief location, which we are looking to seek a permanent easement for. And the pink is the permanent agreement with BHE, and then the blue is for a permanent agreement with the Albany Water Board.
So the property is located in the Land Conservation District, but we are also located in the Normanskill overlay. And so due to the area of disturbance, the amount of disturbance, that's why we're triggering the site development plan review. Just some additional information on our PowerPoint. We do plan to stick to the 7 to 7 construction hours. However, we do intend to seek a waiver from the building department for activities that, have to continue on, if the work is progressing and they have to continue on past those hours. We will seek a waiver from the building department to allow that work to go forward. One example is, mandatory 24-hour pressure testing. You can't stop it in the middle of it. We did seek a similar waiver for the PLE 30 project. My understanding is that we would do that after completing our planning board review process and before applying for our building permit. We also know that maintaining the public access to the community areas around the project site are also important. We note during the periods of material delivery, truck and equipment egress and egress will be controlled so that there's only temporary impacts where we'll hold traffic to allow those necessary truck movements to happen, and then allow the ingress and egress to resume. We did include a traffic control plan with our project submission. We have one sheet from it here, and that has been uploaded to the online project portal. Thus far, we have received some written comments. I believe the project is still undergoing department review. We have received some comments from the engineering department, and were offered the opportunity to participate in a recent technical review committee meeting, which was really helpful, just kind of explaining the interplay between this and the prior project we had at the location. So we were able to give some verbal responses on the Department of Engineering comments at that time, and we did submit a written comment response document just to close that loop. We also have received comments from the city water department. We've provided a partial response to those comments, including an updated SWIP, a full stormwater pollution prevention plan, and revised erosion and sediment control plans. There are still a few comments we're working through from the water department that relate specifically to the site plan sheets. And we're hoping to reach out to see if the folks at the water department would have a call with us just to clarify some of those comments so we can provide a final response.
Where are you gonna put the earth that you removed from the site, the sanitation stuff?
That's partially dictated by contractor means and methods.
Okay, so they're gonna be.
Yeah, so spoils will be potentially stored on site on the mass, and as will be indicated by the erosion sediment control plan.
Okay.
So it'll be within the limits of the disturbance there.
Staff comments?
We're calling it 55 Mill Road, but just as a note, it does kind of encompass those extra parcels, as we saw on the map. And as Alvin noted, the area obviously has those active farm recreational pedestrian pathways, so they've done a good job keeping everything open through this current construction, so that would just be maintained in the future. And because it's an enormous scope overlay, it does have that different threshold, that's why it's made a development plan review. But the action itself would be classified as type 2 under seeker. Oops, I put that thing in the wrong spot. It was referred to Albany County Planning Board, and they recommended to notify town of Bethlehem under the other general municipal law, which we had already done. So we sent both a physical mail and email to Bethlehem on October 3rd. Haven't received comment, but we did the same thing for the previous work as well. As Allison mentioned, for the operation of heavy machinery, there's a specific time frame. So we go through the same thing. I imagine that this one also wouldn't really meet the threshold of building permit because of that structure issue. So it's just something we'll, when you reach out, when that time comes, you reach out and go through that. As far as the code compliance, as we mentioned, the access will be maintained, and the traffic control plan has been provided. There's currently, that like dirt deck material over the existing roadway to kind of strengthen it for the heavy vehicles. So something similar would be used, and then the roadway would be restored at a future date. The current easements are good for 16 months, but if any changes would need to be made.
Yeah, and the current easements also just touch upon, I think, the marshalling yard, if I remember, just that sound familiar to you. So if there's any areas outside of that, obviously we can just work on another agreement and stuff.
Yeah, that's correct. I think like our real estate representative is maybe reaching out shortly here to get those new agreements in place.
Yeah. And then otherwise, really, most of the code does not apply because there's no new structure, no new parking. So it's pretty straightforward as far as the staff approach. And water department was in last week providing comments, and then go for the stuff yesterday for water department comments, and they're happy to reach out or put you in connection with Lisa Merwin if you don't already have that. Just talk through a little bit more.
That sounds great.
DGS and engineering, those comments kind of overlapped, and we did discuss them in person at that TRC meeting. And Allison replied the response today in the application portal. And then we'll just notify building and regulatory compliance, building code when the time comes. So because we're still working through that, at this time we just recommend no action or deferral. But I assume when the time comes, we'll probably put it, probably be pretty quickly remedied.
Any questions from the board? Is there a motion to defer development plan review, DRP 2025-31?
So moved.
Is there a second? So we move the second to defer the development plan review. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Great.
Hope to see you all back soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have one question. Are the comments from the water department, your responses in the folder?
I may not have gotten the one up from yesterday, but I think I did.
I saw the water department comment,
Okay.
but I didn't see your responses. I'm just curious if you're.
We did just upload it, I think Friday, and it's a partial response to those comments. They had kind of, in their one comment letter, they had comments on the SWIP and then comments on the site
I
plan.
saw that.
So we did provide a response to the comments on the SWIP with an updated SWIP and updated erosion and sediment control plan. And we do intend to supplement it with responses to the, yeah. And I believe that's the only remaining comments left to be addressed.
We're good.
Great,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
With the change in planning board members losing Martin Hall, obviously we don't currently have a vice chair for planning board. So we just recommend that that motion is made so that in the event that Chris has to be absent, Shawty would be able to run that meeting. if needed.
All right, so, Shawty, I think, who was it, Justin? Somebody said I was jacking up your last name, so we need to fix that. What is it for R?
You were jacking it up.
So, give me the etymology now. Pronounce it phonetically for me so that when we make this motion,
Yes.
it can be
Can be correct.
pristine.
I'm gonna do it in the.
You gotta tell us the
Persian accent.
history. You
I'm
gotta
gonna
give
you
us the history
Persian
too.
accent too.
Okay.
So let's see if you can do that. So, Habibi. Like,
I ain't doing that.
if you can't do that, you need to cut.
So in good old Ohio English, that K is silent.
No,
It's,
it's cut. Oh, it's just the Kadim, the H is silent. But the reality is KH is one letter, so we
KH.
cut.
Okay. So I move that Shadi Khadivi,
And look at the word, it's literally like HADI.
become the vice chair of City of Albany Planning Board. Is there a second?
I second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Now, oh yeah,
Any other business?
absolutely there is not.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, without objection, meeting is adjourned at 6:50 PM.
What did